Webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. All right, everybody. Welcome to Cash Call. How's my sound, Brian? I'm in a very echoey room. Is it okay?
Yeah, it sounds good. It looks like you're definitely at a KW office. I can see all the KW stuff back on the wall there.
Listen, there's no brand representation here, but I'm at the beach with my family, and
Nice.
so a good friend of mine is letting me work out of their KW office down here. So we appreciate the Jersey Shore KW.
Yeah, absolutely. Give a shout out to the people who are helping us out. I got no issues with that. We are brand agnostic, but
Yes, we are brand agnostic. All brands accepted and gladly welcomed here.
Absolutely.
Cool. So we're going to be doing some more cash call today, right? We're going to be listening to some calls. I'm excited to listen to these.
Me too. It's really, this whole process for me has been more eye-opening than I ever thought it was going to be. And I don't know how often you've listened to calls in the past, Dale, but I'll be honest, it hadn't been something I put a bunch of priority on, but I can tell you that's changed. So I'll talk bad about my team a little bit here. If you're watching, guys, hi. We actually had our sales manager was listening to some calls today as well, and we had a 38-minute phone call with a Zillow lead. So I guess the good thing is
that a good thing or a bad thing?
I feel like it's a bad thing. I mean, there's rapport building, and then there's
old cat ladies
friend. So maybe some happy mediums, but those are the kind of things that we're learning out there. And again, I'll say this is the fabulous news is I'm looking at my team and we're having a great year. Very proud of those guys doing an awesome job. But the great news is there's plenty of room for improvement, because I'm not saying I've never had a 38-minute phone call, but I've never had a 38-minute phone call where they knew all about me, my kids, my family, my vacation, the weather. Those we can build some rapport, but we don't have to build quite that much. So
yeah.
If the person's watching who did that, sorry, I'm talking bad about you. I promise I won't.
Well, you were asking, you said you weren't sure how much call review I've done in the past or listening to calls. When I was running ISA teams and running sales teams, that was really, I quickly figured out that the only way to really know what these people were doing is to listen to what they're doing. And when you start listening, when you don't listen, and maybe you do a little training and, hey, here's some script work and let's role play and I'm going to bust your balls with some objections and then you give them the appointment, you think that they're trained and you think they know what they're doing. When you first start listening to those calls, yeah, you were like, wait a minute, who shit the bed here? This is terrible. We got to work on this.
And let me say this, the great news is for all the people out there who are watching, and I think I said this last time, and I want to reiterate that. You can't have a bad phone call if you don't make a phone call.
Right.
The flip side to that is you can't have a good phone call if you don't make a phone call. So even though, sometimes we make a little bit of fun of the people directly and indirectly on this, really, I want to applaud every single person, because the people's phone calls that we're playing, they're making their phone calls. And
right.
I would rather have someone make 50 bad phone calls than 5 good ones, because 5 good ones, there's a good chance that no one even picked up the phone. So go out there, take what what Dale and I are talking about, but more importantly is just freaking do it. Ready, fire, aim works better than ready, aim, and then you forget to fire. So, and that's a lot of what happens in real estate, because again, I'll tell you this, and Dale can tell you the same thing. We've listened to a lot of bad phone calls that turned into transactions.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but I've never had a transaction happen that somebody didn't talk to somebody. So, step one, I guess. And anyway, I'm gonna get off that soapbox, and we ready to listen to some calls?
Yes, sir. How about I'll go first this time, since you went first last time.
Awesome. I'm ready to listen.
Sounds good. Looks like we got a bunch of attendees on this live now too. Oh, no, we still have the same 3. Sorry. Okay. I saw 5. 2 of them are me and you. But it looks like we have a decent number of people watching on Lab Code Agents.
We're padding the numbers.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so let me share my sound here. Okay. Now, this one I'm gonna lead with not a great one, and then I'll play another one that has some good elements to it. Some things that we can take from it, and then some things that we can learn. Ryan, give me a thumbs up when you can hear it.
Style looks just like the ones that are for sale.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Rich Gold.
Hold on. I have to do this. I have to mute it.
Berkshire Hathaway. How are you?
Oh, good. I was calling about a house that I saw. It was what's that address? 8 Dovecote Lane in Villanova.
Dovecote Lane. Okay. Okay. Would you like to see it?
I did walk through it. It's been in construction. My question is, how high are the ceilings in that house? Because they don't look like they're. They look like they're kind of like 8 foot instead of.
Now, if we tried to role play this, you would think that we were making something stupid up, right? Like, who asked about the height of the ceilings? This is a legit call.
10.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to give a call out there and find out exactly how high those ceilings are.
Yeah, I was interested in that.
Okay. And what is your name?
My name is Marianne.
Okay. Okay, Marianne. What I'll do, I'm going to give a call out there and speak to the builder. You have any other questions, perhaps?
So that's a good move, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to find that out for you. What other questions do you have? Do you have any other questions? Keeps on moving with the conversation.
I love that. And remember this, guys, we do have to, at some point in time before we hang up, to keep the buyer happy, we either have to answer their question or at least tell them that we will get that information for them. We can't, even though we would love to, we can't ignore them completely. So
Right.
Let me see. I was worried about that, and I also when I was looking, I don't remember if I saw this or not, but I was wondering. There was. Let me bring it up here again so I can see what I'm talking about. There was one room.
And I think it's okay that he's not interrupting her.
Perfect.
You can tell she talks slowly. She's processing, right? As she's doing this, that's totally okay that he's not stepping all over her and letting her go through her process. Now, hopefully he will get all of the information from her. I already know that he's not going to. It's only a 2-minute call and we're at 1 minute, 31 seconds in there, right? So
Gotcha.
we know that he's not going to get all the info, but at least he's not stepping on her.
yeah, 100%. And here's the other thing, and he seems to do a good job of this. It may just be luck that it's his personality, but he's also talking relatively slow when he talks. And again, I don't know this guy, so that's
just him.
No luck, but
that's just him.
Okay. I was trying to give him credit, maybe not where credit is due, but
it worked this time.
If this guy has a phone call and he's talking to someone like me, he better pick it up, or I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have any moments of I'm hanging up. So go ahead.
Exactly. So he is by accident in rapport at this point, right?
Excellent.
He's mirror and matching simply because that's how he is.
Got it.
I was looking at the layout. One room that was attached to, I think it was the family room, and then there was an office to the left. Could that wall be taken down and making it like I wouldn't want an office to the left?
Okay.
Kitchen.
Good. Let me give them a call. Are you working with anyone at this point or not?
I'm just looking. I'm not working.
Okay.
So we got the agent question in there, right? We have her first name and whether or not she has an agent. And she has 2 questions about a specific address.
Okay. Well, that's good. Wonderful. I will give you a call back. Let me speak to them.
Yeah, the most important thing is how high is those ceilings.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Now, this is the really not good call, right? Simply because we let her off the phone. This agent, and this is something I want to point out for everybody listening, this agent was far too focused on answering the specific questions that this person has about that property.
Yep.
That should never be the focus. The focus should be on me getting my questions answered, right? Make them feel like they're going to get the answer to their questions, and you will do it, but do not exit that phone call until you've gotten all of your questions answered. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and let me piggyback that, because here's what I want everyone to start thinking about is, and I don't know if this is an incoming or an outgoing, and it doesn't matter.
Inbound.
But inbound. Okay. So the buyer has an objective when they dial the phone, right? And it sounds like this buyer's objective was to find out about how tall the ceilings are. Fabulous. That is their job. That is their objective, to get the information about how tall these ceilings are. Great. Guess what? They got exactly what they wanted. Now, they don't have it yet, but I'm assuming the agent's going to make that phone call, call them back, and say that this has 12-foot ceilings or whatever the case may be. But an agent, if you think about whether you're dialing incoming or outgoing, what is your objective? It's your time too. So are you simply a guy or a woman who's going to answer phone call, or who's going to answer people's questions? Or are you a salesperson who's going to try and convert this person into becoming your client? And I feel like the majority of the phone calls that I've been listening to lately is apparently we are really highly paid answerers. And that's really not what I signed up for. And I'm going to guess the majority of agents, when they decided to become an agent, didn't say, well, I hope I get to spend my day answering questions about ceilings and countertops and square footage. No, that's not what we signed up for. We signed up so that we can go out and help people change their lives by helping them find a new house or helping them sell their house. So this didn't meet that objective. You know, I heard a guy say one time, and I love this idea, every decision I make in my life either moves me towards my goal or away from my goal. And I can tell you right now that this was, I'm not saying it was a colossal waste of time, but from the agent's perspective, they didn't get anywhere closer to their goal, is my guess. So,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
Start thinking about that. And I go, people look at me like, Brian, you're so focused every single time you do all this stuff. Yes, I am. And if you can be focused too, guess what? You can work shorter periods of times more efficiently and more effectively. So, all right, I'm going to queue up my call, Dale. And let me just say, this is a much longer call. I don't think we'll listen to the entire thing.
Okay.
But I will tell you this person is currently under contract to buy a house. So on some level, we succeeded. So, all right, let me hit share here, share my screen, share with computer sound, and there we go. All right, unshare myself.
A property in Fayetteville, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And is that something on the one on Bayberry? Is that something that you wanted to actually look at?
Yeah.
Would you tell me a little bit about? Are you looking to move into the area then?
Yes, we try to look like that's probably be like the building the house, right? And for sale.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how long is we finish and how long we take to do this, like everything?
Okay, so so you're looking to build or to buy?
I have no idea because
Oh.
the first time first.
So a couple of things that I like about, what the agent did, they're trying to do some discovery. Obviously, there's a little bit of a language barrier. So my suggestion when there's a little bit of a language barrier is to ask very pointed questions so that there's not so for example, and I appreciate this question. So are you looking to build or are you looking to buy something that's already built? And that's probably how he didn't ask it exactly that way, but that's really one of the things I think he did good here. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to build? Because I need to know where I'm going. Am I talking new construction? Am I talking different? And this is a new construction house. And by the way, these people bought a new construction house that's going to close here in about a month and a half.
Nice. Yeah, it's good that he's going back in for the discovery to understand where they're at.
Exactly. So
Where are you moving from?
No, we live in Fayetteville now.
Oh, you live in Fayetteville now. Okay.
Yes.
And okay, and so are you currently renting or?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking you're looking to get into a house then.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. Well, what's your time frame? How soon do you want to do this?
Okay, so because we are kind of be little bit not kind of picky, we have to look in what side the house in the front.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of little bit and compare to like the number of the house too. We don't mind just take a look, but we just don't want to waste your time. We have to tell you what we want first.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. I like your thinking. Would it make sense for us to maybe get together, or we could do this?
So here's what I feel like this agent missed this opportunity here. One of the things that I feel that agents as a whole do, they're so afraid of no that they ask weak questions. So here's the question. And again, obviously this worked out, but just because something worked out doesn't mean it's the best way to do it. So, would it make more sense for us to get together? I know what I'm looking for as an agent. I'm going, please, let's get together. So instead of would it make more sense, why not act as if? In other words, hey, I remember this person's name. Hey, Susie, I feel like it would make a little bit more sense for us to get together because that way we can actually have this conversation in person and be a little bit easier. I'll be able to get you the information that you want. What day works best for us to get together? Be a little bit more aggressive with that because she could have easily just said, no, I'm good. But if you kind of push that to take control, they don't know the process. This is clearly someone who doesn't own a home. It's just a question. It sounds like, it would make a lot more sense for us to get together. I have time later on this week. What day works best for you?
No,
So
absolutely. I agree. A lot of times agents will pull back from asking the more, they just get afraid of losing it, right? They get afraid of upsetting somebody or, they don't want to, they are afraid of like breaking the toy they just got or something. They just got like a shiny new toy. But, you never know. I mean, you said that this one turned out, it worked out great. That's wonderful. But how many times did things not work out that way, right?
Yes.
And weak questions caused you to not be able to convert somebody. We have a question from Mark. Let me see here. Let's check this, the chat participants. Here we go. So Mark raised his hand. Did you want to ask a question? Let's see. Let me try allow to talk. Let's see if this works, Mark. This is the first time we're doing this. I'm going to unmute you. Or can you, there we go. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Mark.
Welcome, Mark.
Welcome. Yeah, I've been in sales for a long time, real estate fairly new, but the thing I always heard was you got to get skin in the game. I mean, if they've got nothing to lose, I mean, if you don't give them the information, you have to do exactly what you're saying. You got to say, this is when we need to get together, and I really can't do anything more for you without getting together. Because if they hang up, they hang up. I mean, you lost them, you just go to the next one.
Right. And I'd also say the majority of the time, if somebody doesn't want to get together with you right now for whatever reason, that doesn't mean they're going to hang up on you. And that is an extreme response and a possibility. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but you ask somebody, hey, I've got time later on this week. I think it would make more sense for us to get together. And they go, you know what, I'm way too busy. That doesn't mean that you have to hang up the phone and stop. So it's okay to ask a question that's a little bit of a close because one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get the answer you want, or you're probably going to get some sort of objection. And guess what? We can't cover an objection if that buyer, seller, client doesn't tell you what the objection is. So I guess really what I'm saying, and I agree with what you're saying too, Mark, don't be afraid to ask the question. It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Right.
Great. Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to play just a little bit more of this, Dal, and then we can switch over.
Go for it.
On phone or text, or if you'd like to do this face-to-face. Now, I've been in the business for 11 years now, so I'm not a rookie or anything. And usually what I've found, what saves time is we kind of, I'm able to talk to you and get all your wants and needs and try to build up a picture of what you're looking for. And then I can probably go out and find it quicker than you can. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
So I guess my question is when would you like to get together, or would you prefer to do this like with text or email? You tell me what's your preference?
I think the best one is like by email. It's like not wasting your time and kind of busy because I have a business.
I see.
I have to be in the shop like 9 morning.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So again, I feel like if he wouldn't have taken that away at the beginning, like he said, I think it would make a lot more sense for us to get together. He was talking about his expertise, which is great. He's got 11 years experience. Tell people that. And then he was telling them what he was going to do. And he asked them if they wanted to get together. And right before they answered, they said, or we could go back. We could do the text and the email. And what did she come up with? Let's do email. And again, I'm not going to pay the rest of this call. It does end up eventually working out, but don't be afraid. And that's really what happened here. And it's, this guy's got 11 years experience. It's not his first rodeo. So
yeah, he was afraid. He was afraid that she was going to reject that idea. And so he rejected it himself. Right.
Right. And by the way, rejection is rejection, no matter who did it. At the end of the day, the result is identical. So whether you close the door yourself or someone else closes the door is closed. So,
absolutely.
But anyway, I feel like there was some good stuff in there. And, he talked about his expertise. He explained that he knew what the process is and wanted to go over that. And I love that because especially for someone who doesn't currently own a home and they may not have ever been a home buyer before is, we're showing them that there's a process behind this because they don't know. And the reality is the majority of people I listen to don't cover process early and often. And it needs to be covered early and often because uncertainty is one of the things that people hate in life. Covering process, telling them what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, that what the hell you're doing, that significantly brings comfort to people and makes them feel like, hey, this is a guy I want to work with because he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for a while and he's got a plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the biggest issues that we have that consumers have with us is they don't know what's going to happen when they call us, when they call that phone number. They don't know what's going to happen when they submit their info online, right? And once we've spoken to them, they don't know what's going to happen if we've asked them to show up at a meeting. They don't know what's going to happen at that meeting. If we didn't get them to show up at a meeting and we're just going to send them emails or call them later, they don't know exactly what's going to happen. And that unknown gives them anxiety, right?
Absolutely.
And we don't want them filling in what's going to happen with their own imagination because it's usually not good.
Right. No one fills it in with this agent's going to be super great, do an amazing job, and I'm going to get the best deal I possibly can. No one's filling it in with that information. They're filling it in with this guy don't know what the hell he's doing, and I'm not sure why I'm talking to him. So.
Right. Exactly. Great. Geiger, I'm going to unmute you, or I couldn't unmute you. I just promoted you to be able to talk. Can you unmute yourself, buddy? Can you hear me? Are you watching? Because I have a call by Geiger. I want to get his permission to play it. Are you there?
Going once. Bueller. I hate myself. All right, buddy. Old enough.
That's funny. Well, I'll play a different call then.
Okay. While you're setting that up, I want to say what Mark commented to us is use the text messages or use the email after the no. If you get the no, great. So why don't we, come up with the next way to communicate? So again, it wasn't necessarily I got a no from not the appointment and we're never going to talk again. It was just now we're going to switch to plan B. And if plan B doesn't work, we're going to switch to plan C. Yep. So, but plan A is what we want. So anyway.
Absolutely. And don't self-sabotage it, which is what Absolutely. He did. And in fact, I know you said he has a lot of experience in the business. I would play that call for him, man, and just be like, hey, I was listening to these. I know you got a ton of experience. I know you're going to hear what I heard, and I don't know if you knew that this happened, but listen to this, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And hope that he picks it out. And if he doesn't, just be like, what, did you hear where you took it away from her? And it could have been something. If that was the only option on the table, she was going to take it.
Yes. I really believe that. If he would have said, hey, if we can get together, what day would work best for you, Tuesday or Wednesday or nights or weekends, whatever, either or. I like slot closes, either or closes. I feel like if he would have done that, she would have said, okay, well, I don't get off work until 6 o'clock. Great. Let's meet at 6 o'clock. And I feel like that would have happened. And again, it all worked out, but we want to increase the number of times that it works out, not decrease the number of times.
Absolutely. Because a lot of times that won't work out. You take it away, take it off the table, and you don't get it back again. That's the problem. Okay.
Do you just not get it?
Hello?
Hello, good morning. My name is Guy. How are you today?
I'm okay. Cold.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure you're cold. I was just calling because I saw that you registered on the site. I'm checking in to see if you're interested in buying a house, or did you end up buying something already?
No, I'm not. I was just looking because within the year I'll probably sell this house and be moving, but I was just looking to see what was out there.
Oh, I see. Where are you guys planning on making a move to when you do sell your house?
Well, I was thinking of staying in the area of where I am now, Parsippany, within 10
So this is great. We found a seller lead, right?
Absolutely.
miles,
Who registered on our website.
one way or the other. But I like to stay in Morris County.
Oh, okay. Awesome. What's making you want to make that move in the first place?
That's a lot of questions, but I'm moving because I don't need a big house all to myself. I want something like a townhouse, something I don't have to worry about the upkeep inside and out.
All right, now at this point, she's a seller. She's going to do it in about a year, and he got the why. And she was defensive about the why, right? Or she was just defensive about answering more questions. So the first thing that I would have done when she said awful lot of questions, I would have explained. I would have softened it. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry into your business. We just work with a lot of buyers and sellers all the time. And there's always a story that goes behind why somebody's doing something. I was just wondering about you.
Absolutely.
That's it. I'm just going to make it human. I'm going to humanize it, right? And also at this point, what I believe he needs to do, the next question I believe he needs to ask is he needs to deal with the time frame. Because if we think about it, I promote following the no, right? Essentially, she's going to sell her house, but if I said, hey, can we list your house today? Her no is going to be, I'm doing it in about a year. We need to understand why that's the case, right?
Exactly.
What do you think, Brian?
What do I think? I think the exact same thing. I think that you need to do that. I actually wrote down as we were speaking, he got the where, he got the why, and I appreciate that. So he's headed down the path, and I feel like he's doing a good job doing some discovery, which is oddly enough something we don't hear often enough. So
yeah.
Right. Oh, awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, we could definitely help you out. You have an idea of when you want to be in that new house? Like a time frame even?
I'd say by this time next year, I hope to be, if you can hear my dog, I can't hear me. By this time next year, I hope to be in someplace. So I'd say by the fall, I'll probably be looking to start selling this place.
By the fall, you want to start selling?
I got to go. There's somebody at the door.
Okay, I'll call back. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So what would you do there, Brian? That's a tough one, man.
that is a tough one. You got a dog barking in the background. You have someone knocking at the door. There are legitimate reasons, not just I'm trying to dump you off the phone. I probably would have followed it up. It sounds like you're super busy. Just give me 2 more seconds. When's the best time to call you back? That way, or at least, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call you back in about 30 minutes. It sounds like you're super busy. At a minimum, try and get some level of commitment that it's okay to call you back. He kind of went, shit.
I think I would have said, hey, I'll hold. Go check the door.
Okay. That's even stronger, and I like that.
I would have tried that. And here's the reason why I would have done that. Because she's from the Northeast, right? They're in New Jersey. You can kind of talk to people like that. If
Yes.
they were in the South, you would probably need to offer. You might say something like, oh, wow, it sounds like you're really busy. Would you like me to hold real quick while you check the door? Right? And do a little bit nicer instead of telling her what to do.
Absolutely. So let me talk about something I noticed on this call and the last call. And actually, the last call was probably more than this call. So I'm going to talk about something that I don't know we've mentioned on here, but I'm going to call them graffiti. So I'm sure you know the term, Dale, but basically the last guy's graffiti was okay, and So if you want to take a look at something, if you're looking at your own calls or you're looking at someone on your team's calls, pay attention to the graffiti. Pay attention to that transition. So this guy, everything was amazing to him. Okay, that's amazing. So understand that what you're trying to do, and I know why people do it. I do it. You're like, oh, I don't have the words. Okay. And then, if you could actually physically watch them, you could watch their eyes dart up to the right because you're actually accessing that information out of your brain. So one of the things that tells me is that you need a little bit of work on your scripting. You need a little bit of work on your confidence in that because you weren't 100% sure what to say and you're waiting and you're like, So And again, that doesn't mean that they're catching it, because there's a real good chance that the person at the other end didn't catch that at all. It's just something that Dale and I, pay attention to, because what that means is it makes the phone call longer. And you're like, well, Brian, it's only an extra 30, 40 seconds, but we talked about this last time. If you're not smooth, if you are having to use a lot of that graffiti, you are creating that call fatigue. So, yep. And again, guys, I'm talking about the last 20% of phone calls, and that's what Dale and I are talking about. The 80%, most of the people have it, but I'm trying to get you from 80 to 100, and that's why I'm mentioning all these little nuances, and these little nuances are really, really important as you move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a big difference, and people can hear that stuff. I guarantee you that woman doesn't use the word awesome the way that this last agent did.
Yes.
And the more you use that, the more they notice it and that it's out of place. And he was using it like one of those, a filler, because he didn't know what to do.
Yep.
Don't use filler. People will pick that stuff up. And especially don't use filler over and over and over again. They will catch that stuff.
Yes, they will. And that doesn't mean that you can't use the same phrase over and over again, because if you have a phone call with me and I'm on the other end of that phone call, you'll hear me say this over and over again. And there was a time where I thought about stopping it, but I said, why? I use out of curiosity. If I'm on the phone call with someone, I'll probably use that phrase 3 times. So
yeah.
Don't be afraid to use the same thing over and over again. But that being said, understand who you're talking to. So this lady didn't sound like someone who walked around and went, awesome. That's probably right. Was, and just because that's who you are, and again, I'll shout out to Joel Rico, because this is something I learned from him. Almost every conversation with a new person, one of the people is going to be uncomfortable. Volunteer to be uncomfortable. Talk like them. Don't try and talk like you and get them to talk like you. Just be like them.
Yep.
Because if they're comfortable, guess what? You're winning. If they're uncomfortable, you're losing. You're comfortable, but comfortable doesn't make any money.
Exactly. You can be comfortable and broke, or you can be uncomfortable and rich, or well paid, wealthy. There we go. All right. You have one more you want to play?
No, I'm good. I only brought one. Since it was 6 minutes long, I figured that I didn't need to today.
Nice.
But,
yeah. We're at time today anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us again for Cash Call. Loved listening to these calls. I posted in the Facebook post the link where you can upload your calls if you'd like them reviewed here, and you'd like some tips and some advice on how you can improve what you're doing. So you can just upload them there, and we'll play them in the next session. So, Brian, great seeing you again, and thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great week.
Thanks, Dale.
Bye.